What's up, people? It's your man Herb Lover coming live and direct from the Herb. Coming live and direct from your mama's basement, not the Herb Mobile, as you can tell, because you don't see my face. When you don't see my face, you know I'm reporting from somebody's basement. I won't discuss the locations because you might know who I am and you might come and get me because I might be knocking them boots with your mama. Let me stop. That's not nice and that's not righteous. But anyway, let's talk about this game. I meant to drop this video yesterday, but I was busy. Got caught up in some things, but I figured I'd drop this video before the game that we played tonight. I guess this is our last game against the Portland Trailblazers. And I want to make this is the thing before I get into this topic, because I'm trying not to make this video that long. But let's understand, guys. At the end of the day, you know, a lot of people say, why the Lakers ain't been playing, you know, playing good like this, you know, the beginning of the season or the middle of the season, whatever it may be. After a while, you have to, and I know it's only like, what, the last 10 games. I'm going to say the last 10 games we went 6-4. And I know it's ain't against a lot of top-notch teams, but let's be honest. The teams that we have played, these guys are not teams that are actually looking to go to the playoff, besides, what, a couple of them. You know, here it is, we beat the Jazz. We beat the Clippers. You know, we beat, well, I can call it the Pelicans, but the Hornets. You know, and the Kings also had opportunity to make the playoff as well. So we did put some stampers in, or some stomps or stops in some of these teams' opportunity to, you know, to get a chance to make the playoffs. And the other teams we're looking at that we beat, you know, the Wizards. It's not a team that's actually looking to basically, you know, look for a lottery pick, because they didn't give up on their season. You know, you got to look at the Pelicans. You know, the Pelicans still were playing pretty good, even though they, you know, they were up and down, but they still played pretty good. You know, and you already know about the Thunder and the Warriors. But anyway, what I'm talking about is the game, as we do always. So in the game, we played against the Utah Jazz, a team that was on a 7-game winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. And they came to our home, and we basically shut them down, shut them down, shut them down like a motherfucking clown. We shut them down. We shut them down. Anyway, I'm just acting crazy, but you gotta keep in mind, we playing the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz had much more to win than we did. We had much more on the table. We didn't have much on the table. You know, basically we're just trying to find our place in these last couple games. Guys are trying to fight for playoff spots. I mean, not playoff spots, I'm sorry. Fight for roster spots for the upcoming season. So a lot of these young guys are hungry. AKA Alex Caruso, who has not, to this day, was not getting the bump. And I kept saying it last year. They need to play this guy. Give him some bump. But Lew Walton decided not to utilize him. Until now, this season, when everybody's hurt. Now you're getting to see the opportunity of some of these young G Leaguers, who we probably basically brushed off for a long period of time, that have been just sitting down there collecting dust, waiting for the opportunity to come. And when it comes, they came and play. You got the guy Jones, man, coming out grip. You know, it is what, a couple games, guys had double-digit rebounding. You know, I mean, this game against Utah, he had like 16 boards. Like, I mean, these guys are, you know, this is what you want on your team. And I know a lot of people say, well, Herb, you know, it's still early. You know, they only played a couple games. You know, you don't want to, you know, sign these guys to contract. Let me share something with you. Sometimes the best players are the ones that no one pays attention to. Because when everybody's focused on the main player, that main player might go off into the shadows. And some of them players that you don't pay attention to, they go somewhere else and become stars. A la Oladipo. Everybody read Oladipo off for a long period of time when he left Orlando. And then after leaving Orlando, going to OKC. And then what happened? Once he went to Indiana and Nate McMillan understood what he had and said, look, guy, I'm putting the ball in your hand. I'm giving you the green light. You do you. And what happened? He became an All-Stars first season with Indiana. So you got to look at those scenarios, man. I keep telling people over and over again, we so caught up on, we need this star. We need that star. It's not so much that we need stars. What we need is a smart, intellectual coach. Simply put, Lew Walton has proved to us that at the end of the day, you need a good X and O coach. And I'm saying Lew Walton's a bad coach. I will never say a man is a bad coach, because he did what he had with the little bit that he had. The only problem is that, which everybody knows now, but I've been saying this since Lew Walton became the coach after watching some games, is that his rotation and his time management has been very poor and lackluster. And that was the biggest problem I had with Lew Walton, that when it comes to young players, he just don't know how to develop them. And I'm not saying that he don't know how to develop them to a certain degree, because if you think about it, he made sure Brandon Ingram was getting those minutes, but he still didn't know how to use Brandon Ingram, because he had Brandon Ingram bringing the ball down, I guess, you know, being more unselfish and not letting Brandon Ingram just reach his potential. Brandon Ingram seen the opportunity during All-Star break after everything broke out with, you know, the LeBron James, AD, and everything else. Brandon took it upon himself to say, you know what? I'm going to do what Kuzma do. I'm just going to, you know, just play me and do me. And that's what you see from Brandon Ingram. So you got to look at it like this. At the end of the day, Lew Walton is studying the growth of these young players. Whether you like them or not, it's just the honest truth. Now, the only problem I told you guys, based on what's out there and what the Lakers are looking at, and like somebody mentioned in the comment section, if the Lakers are only looking at these individual coaches, then the front office need to be looked at as well. But we have to understand that you have LeBron James. LeBron James is a certified superstar. The things that we as fans want is not going to happen. So we got to be realistic with it. We can sit there and say the Lakers should go after this player, that player, this player. But the Lakers didn't do any of that. Matter of fact, when, like I said, with DeMarcus Cousins, he was out there. And, you know, somebody stated that, you know, well, the Lakers ain't offer him anything. He went to Lakers, he said, look, he'll take, what, $5 million. No one wanted to take it. Lakers said, this is what the Lakers did say. And you can actually go look that quote up. The Lakers said they're not looking at that because they're not looking at DeMarcus Cousins because they're trying to get somebody so they can actually make the playoffs. That was their game plan. When LeBron James came, the whole plan was to make the playoffs. That was the first step in the dynasty going in that direction. Not to win the championship, but if we get in the playoff, anything can happen. The point was just to get to the playoff. And that's what they said. They weren't looking at somebody that wasn't ready to produce, you know, 3 or 4 months down the road. They were looking at somebody to produce as soon as they step on the floor. So they didn't want to invest in DeMarcus Cousins. With me personally, I think that was a bad thing because if you look at it, you went and got Tyson Chandler, who at the same time was an old shell of himself, and you had Zubac sitting there. So in reality, you could have brought DeMarcus Cousins, set him on the bench, let him, you know, rehab and everything, and you still have Zubac and JaVale McGee, which would make sense because if you look at it, the thing is, if you'd have got DeMarcus Cousins, now you had an opportunity to actually sign him up the next year. A lot of people say, well, you know, the DeMarcus Cousins, Lakers have the same interest in this and that, but let's be honest, DeMarcus Cousins could do a Paul George. What I mean by that is, because he's playing with Golden State, he liked the atmosphere, he liked the environment, he can say, you know what, just sign me for another 18, sign me for 18 million, whatever. And this is Kevin Durant leave. So we got to look at that as well. And this brings me to this factor. And I'm talking about reality now. You know, a lot of people talk about some of the other centers that, you know, oh, the Lakers can go at this center. Listen, if the center is playing pretty good on that respective team, and if that center loves the team he's playing with, 9 out of 10, that team, if that center got them to the playoffs, and they get out the first round or make some noise in the first round, that organization is going to sign that center. And the Lakers only can give him a partial of what he's going to look for. So we can't, you know, we can only give certain people max contract if they're our players, based on the fact that they have to come here first, and then we can give them the small amount of a max. You know, we can't give them the ultimate max because them teams had their bird rights, or, you know, they're the first team that have the opportunity to spend that most money on that individual player. So we got to look at things from a real perspective. This is why I say, at the end of the day, the best thing to do, me personally, if you get a superstar, that's cool. I'm with it, as long as we lose the young players. But I will mostly invest in these young players. I know a lot of y'all might, I can say a lot of y'all, but some of y'all might disagree because y'all like the Band-Aid type of teams. Y'all like a team that after 3 years, you know, hope to make the playoff or hope to make a finals. You know, after 3 years, then you're back to square one again, restarting over, which I say over and over again is the most foolish thing to do in this time, day, and age. The super team myth, the super team situation is starting to die out. It's going back to the point where there used to be 2 solid players on each team. That's what you're going to start seeing after a while, because why? A lot of these young players or players a lot of these players will get to the point where they feels like, I don't want to be a shadow of somebody else. I'd rather go to a team with one superstar and we rock and roll that way. That's what it's going to turn out to be. It's going to be right back how it was back in the early 80s. No, I'm sorry, in the 80s, late 90s. I mean, early 90s, where it used to be like 2 players, two all-star or superstar players on one team. That's what it's going to be eventually. It's going to turn back to that. But this is the thing, what I would say. I think JaVale McGee should be offered opportunity back. I said it over and over again that if nothing else is out there, I would definitely resign JaVale. I will resign JaVale just for the point of the way he plays. I know a lot of people say, well, Urban, what about the, you know, asthma and all this and that? He only can play strict minutes. If you got a good coach that know how to utilize him within the strict minutes, it can work. It can work. He don't have to. He play 30 minutes a game. It can work. But I like what I see from JaVale McGee. He's the only one I've seen in a while as a center that does a lot of playing around the rim, dunking and all that. I love that. I'm old fashioned. I like guys that play that retro type of play. He remind me of somebody from the 70s. I keep telling y'all that. 70s, mid 80s that like to dunk, play around the rim. I'm old school. All that big guys shooting threes and all that, I'm not with it. And I still believe in my heart that you can beat teams like that. You don't believe me? Think about the Golden State Warriors when they had Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, and Mitch Richmond, all them guys. When they had that small unit, they were the one that started that small unit. And they'll get in the first round. They might make it to the second round, but they were getting smacked by the Lakers and all the other teams that was over there at the time. Then you can look at the Phoenix Suns. But they caught on to the opportunity when the rules have changed to benefit Steve Nash. But at the same time, they went to the finals. They go to the finals? I don't even remember when they went to the finals. I can't remember. It's been so long. Sometimes your mind, goes two different places and you got to regather some of the information that slipped out and put it back in your brain and make sure it regenerate. But anyway, the thing is that you have to understand is this. I will definitely re-sign JaVale McGee. I'll find a way to make it work. I will re-sign JaVale McGee. Alex Caruso, I definitely would re-sign him. And I know a lot of people might disagree. I make Alex Caruso my backup. Everybody keeps talking about we need to get this point guard, we need to get that. No, Alex Caruso is a big guard. He's like 6'5", 6'6", between 6'5", 6'7". He's a big guard. He's been around. He's a feisty. He played good defense. For a guy like him, he plays pretty good defense. And he finished nicely around the rim. Personally, I will go ahead and Alex Caruso will be my backup behind Lonzo Ball. And when I want to, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso can run that back court sometimes. But I would definitely keep those young guys. I would definitely keep the young guys and let them develop. But you need a good coach because Luke Walton is not the answer for these young developing players. It's a prime example, proving the fact. When you watch these games, these last 10, 12 games, the only reason why Alex Caruso, all them guys are getting playing time is because why? Players are injured. You know what I mean? And actually his rotation is real small now. Why when you running that small rotation in the middle of the season? The beginning of the season when you start to, weave out the dust and, let guys play to see what you can do and see what kind of rotation or matchups you can get and stuff like that, who fits for who and all that at the beginning of the season. But during the middle of the season, going after, probably after the All-Star break, you start narrowing down your rotation to no more than 3 to 4 guys off the bench. That's how you do it. You blowing people out, you sit down your starters, you bring out your bench players in to clean it up. Luke Walton still needs experience when it comes to coaching. That's simply put. He just need to go back, be assistant coach, and learn more. Or go with an organization that's going to give him the opportunity to coach the way he want to coach. And that's what probably happened anyway. But they played the Utah Jazz, man. You can't ask for nothing better than this. Utah Jazz, they won 7 in a row. They came to LA, we spanked them. You know what I mean? We played pretty good. Like I said, we spanked them, but we played pretty good. With that, you think about with a bunch of G leaguers. Goldberg had a good game. He had 21 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. Mitchell had 19, but he was being D'd up. Yes, he was being D'd up. He was 5 for 17. He was being D'd up. Ingles, D'd up, 12 points. Sofalacious, D'd up, 13 points. You had Niang, 16 points off the bench, and Crowder, 11 points off the bench, but they were D'd up. Straight D. Caldwell and Caruso played pretty good defense on them guys. You can say what you want, but they played pretty good defense on them, and they gave them an opportunity to make them take a lot of tough shots. Muscala, I'm gonna get his name right, because he's playing pretty good. He's getting the playing time. He played 30 minutes, 16 points, 8 boards. Looked pretty good. My man, Triple J, or Jones. I'm gonna try to find a name for this guy, but I don't know how long he's gonna be with us. But anyway, he had 5 assists, 16 points, 5 boards in his first time starting. McGee. Still playing pretty good. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 10 for 16. Man, like I told you, if you got a guard that can get the ball to McGee, McGee could be very productive. The problem was that we just wasn't running a lot of low post plays for him. Caldwell Pope, once again, knocking it down. I know a lot of fans don't like Caldwell Pope, and they always say, why does he play like this towards the end? I keep telling you guys the reason why, because he don't have to look over his shoulder. You got 6 or 7 guards playing with you. Sometimes that happens because you worry about your playing time. And when you worry about your playing time, sometimes you checks out mentally on the floor because you worry about getting them shots off. You try to do your best to do what's right. And when you do that, usually what happens, you mess up a lot. Well, now he ain't got nobody looking over his shoulder. He ain't got to look over his shoulder to other players on the bench. He can just come out and be himself. And because of that, that's why you're seeing the different Caldwell Pope. It's the same thing this year as it was last year. Last year we had players hurt. Caldwell Pope had opportunity to play. Simply put, 32 points, 13 for 22. Not shooting good behind the 3-point this game, but 2 for 8. And this guy was actually passing. He gave a couple plays up to JaVale McGee. 6 assists. Alex Caruso even put the ball in his hand because Alex Caruso had 4 fouls or something like that at the time. He kept getting the ball to Caldwell Pope. And Caldwell Pope did pretty good. You got to give him credit where credit's due. For you to be a Laker fan, or anybody to be a Laker fan, if you're going to still criticize these players, and right now, you know, we're basically playing for, I know, for nothing, peanut butter and jelly time. We're not playing for nothing, but the point is you still got to get credit where credit's due if you're a Laker fan. And I'm not saying that I'm giving you something to force feed you to say because I agree with it, you must agree with it as well. No, I'm just saying the guy is playing pretty good. You got to give him credit where credit's due. Simply put, if you like watching the Lakers. Caruso, not a good established game. Not shooting good, but still had a good game. 11 assists. He did have 5 turnovers, though. But he had 11 assists. But remember, he played almost the whole entire game. This is what I'm talking about when we got players that are hot. You know what I mean? They able to stay in the game. Then I said it before in my videos a while back. I said Kuzma, Ball, and Ingram should be getting 40-something minutes. This is when LeBron James went down. I said there's no reason for these 3 guys not to get 40-something minutes. And I ain't saying every night, but on games where we need it, these guys should be playing and Lonzo Ball should have the ball in his hand. What the Lou Walton does, he doesn't even give them 40 minutes, 30 minutes, rotate some other guys in there and this and that, sit them on the bench, they go cold, then he bring them back in, they already cold, so you bring them back in and you thought they're going to lift up and carry the team. No, it didn't work that way. But like I said, I digress. It's all about coaching, man. It comes down to coaching. You cannot sit and tell me that, you know, oh, well, you know, this the player, this or that. No, it's the coaching. It's the poor lack of coaching. But like I said, you look at the squad. Williams come off the bench. 8 rebounds, 14 points. I'm going to tell you like this. Williams and the dude Jones, I will give 2-way deals. Alex Caruso will be on the roster. Caldwell Pope, like I said, if nothing else is out there, I would definitely get Caldwell Pope. Bullock, I'll let him go. Look, he stayed injured. They got stiff neck. He just had something wrong with his foot. They got stiff neck. Man, get the hell out of here, man. Get the hell out. What the hell, man? Go ahead out here with that bull crack, stiff neck. Yeah, you can go ahead, man. It sucks. But I would definitely bring Caruso back and let him be a backup for Lonzo Ball. That's me. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know, at the end of the day, the Lakers have all-star caliber players in Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball. The point is, going back to what I said before, we need an X and O experienced coach who know how to develop young players, a.k.a. Mark Jackson. Listen, if we go back to the point of Jason Kidd, Ty Lue, Juwan Howard, any of those individuals, you might as well just bring Luke Walton back. I know a lot of people say, what about Ty Lue? Ty Lue didn't do nothing after LeBron James left. He still had Kevin Love and all of them. He didn't do anything, okay? And that's the East. Look at the last 2 teams going to the playoff in the East. Once again, having under 500 records. So if you cannot win in the East, what make you think you can win in the West? Come on, guys. Stop it. Jason Kidd, same thing. He's nothing but Lou Walton because he stopped the growth of the Milwaukee Bucks. Once they let Jason Kidd go, look what happened to the Milwaukee Bucks. Come on, y'all. Stop it. That's why I say if you want to do that, go with Lou Walton. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Juwan Howard. What's his resume? So we're going, you know what I mean? So we're going to look at Juwan Howard. What is his resume? If LeBron James trying to get to the playoff, aka then the finals, why would you bring in an inexperienced coach with somebody like him? Come on, y'all. Stop it. Y'all might, like I said today, you might, if you pick those 3, you might go back with Lou Walton. That's my own opinion. Because you're going to think about it. The Lakers are going to get veteran players anyway. They want to get another superstar. So what's the point? These young players can develop around them, but I wouldn't give them up. Not for no AD or anybody else for that chance. And matter of fact, like I said, I would go with the young players and develop them. But Lou Walton, if you're going to pick the 3 guys that I just named, you might just go with Lou Walton because he's the best out of those 4. Just going to keep it real. Now, if you go with Mark Jackson, oh, heck, yeah. But the problem is this, going back to what I said at the beginning of the video, it all depends on LeBron James. Because before they get a new coach, they got to talk to LeBron James, and they got to ask LeBron James, what do you think? Should we bring in this person or that person? LeBron James got to be on board for whatever coach they decide to bring in. If he's not on board with it, it doesn't happen. So let's make sure we understand that. So for anybody to sit there and talk about Ty Lue was a good coach, that's a bunch of lies. Ty Lue was not a good coach. Like I said before, LeBron James, you in the East, LeBron James basically was the coach on that floor. If you don't believe me, go back and look at some of the video and watch him in the huddle. Where's Ty Lue at and where's LeBron James at? Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Don't be making that daggone food and stuff like that out. So at the end of the day, let's look at that as well. Like I said, you got to look at will Mark Jackson be able to coexist with LeBron James? Will LeBron James be able to take Mark Jackson and actually utilize some of the play sets that Mark Jackson want to run? That's something that you got to ask LeBron James. Not us. We just fans looking in. Like I said before, I would go with Mark Jackson, but it got to be totally about LeBron James. I'm just a fan looking in. That's just my opinion. I believe at the end of the day that it would not fit with LeBron James unless LeBron James humble himself and allow the coach to run the offense he want to run, then it can work. But if not, it's all on LeBron James. And Magic Johnson is going to do everything in his power to make sure LeBron James is happy. Simply put, regardless of how we feel as fans, the whole thing is about stock and value. Let's make sure we understand that. So, y'all saying we want Mark Jackson, it all been along LeBron James. And one more thing I told you guys before, Ty Lue, let's stop it. Then you go to David Blanche. He was a good X and O coach. What happened to him? What happened to him? LeBron James wanted him out. He finger pointed, well not finger pointed, but he basically pointed out that he wanted Ty Lue. All right. Then you look at what's that? Mike Brown. Some people say he's a good coach. Not a good coach. What has he done since he left Cleveland or before he went to Cleveland? Might have had one good team, one good this and that. But Byron Scott is better than all of them I just named. I mean, at least Byron Scott's resume look better than everybody I just named. But you know, it is what it is. But the thing is, Mike Brown, not a good coach. You know, you can say what you want. Mike Brown sucked, and that's why he was gone when he came to LA. How long did he coach? What, 4 games? Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. Like I said, I know we don't like Lou Walton as a coach, but if you're going to name Jawar Howard, Ty Lue, and freaking Jason Kidd, you might as well go back with freaking this guy. I can't say his daggone name. He messes me up so much. Drink some water. Walton. You got to go back to Walton. If not, like I said, if LeBron James is humble enough to accept a coach with X and O experience and all that, then I would go with Mark Jackson, because this way, this is the thing. Mark Jackson probably will be the best coach for LeBron if LeBron will accept him. The reason why I say that, because Mark Jackson can help develop the young players, and LeBron James can still be an a-la coach on the floor as long as him and Mark Jackson come to some type of an agreement to make it work. But it can work both ways if Mark Jackson is the coach. Me personally, out of all the coaches out there, I think Mark Jackson is the best coach for these young players. I'm looking at the young players. I know a lot of you want the veterans. I don't give a heck about the superstar veterans, all that. I like homegrown superstars. People that, you know, that got drafted by that certain team, and they build them up so that way, if you treat them with love, you treat them with respect, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to leave. Majority of them not going to leave. They're going to stay at their hometown. In that case, Westbrook and a whole bunch of other people would have left. But like I said, you homegrown them, you are not homegrown, but you basically raise them out of that respective organization, and you show them love and gratitude. That way they don't leave you, and they actually will work with you when it comes to money and all that, because they trust in you as you trust in them. But it's all about building respectability among you and the players, which we have actually tore down this season. So everything throughout the first, we're gonna see a lot of craziness. But this game was a good game, man. We played Portland tonight. I'm gonna end this video. See some of you guys on Twitter. Some of y'all might not see, but I definitely will drop a video, and I also will drop a video talking about God dang it, what's that guy thing? I can't even think of their daggone names, man. Look, I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta get out of here, man. My mind is sipping on that. No, I ain't sipping on nothing. Let me get out of here. You guys take care. It's already longer than what it's supposed to be.